Well, it's that time of year once again. Last year we didn't have E3, for obvious reasons. I don't need to get into it, but we're back again. E3 is confirmed this year. It's not going to be in the usual style. It's not going to be held in a convention center. There's not going to be any physical demos, but it's going to be a digital showcase. There's still going to be studios coming out and announcing things. There's a pretty good list of companies. I know Square Enix is confirmed, Capcom, Nintendo, Microsoft, I believe. Sony hasn't said anything, but we'll really see. It's up in the air. But regardless, there is E3 stuff happening. And every year, it's become a tradition on this channel. I do a thing called the Pre-3 Extravaganza. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, it is where I have a month leading up to E3 of just E3 content. So some of it in the past has been watching full conferences of past E3s. I've done prediction videos predicting what could possibly happen at this upcoming E3, and just a lot of different things over the years. And this year, I'm going to be continuing on with the one tradition, the one I always love to do, is react to older E3 conferences. Now, this is something I always love to do because it's always really cool to kind of see, okay, let me watch this older conference now with the information and just, like, did they live up to what they showed off in this conference? Was this a big success in their front? Was it a failure? So it's always interesting to see. And also, it's just a cool look back. It really gets me at least kind of pumped and ready for the new E3 that comes up. So this year, I've decided for the row of conferences that I'm going to be watching, I am pulling from E3 2009. Now, this was a weird middle year. I can't remember too much. I remember Microsoft's pretty vividly. But when it comes to Sony and Nintendo, it's really kind of a blank on my end. So watching the Sony one, it's going to be kind of like a memory lane of like, oh, okay, I remember that. And like, oh, I remember that from the Nintendo one. The Microsoft one I do remember because there was some stuff at the end that even back then I was like, okay, that's a little wonky. But we're going to get into that. And today is going to be Microsoft as the starting point. We're going to start off with Microsoft. They were the first one to start off this E3. And we're just going to go into it. So let me move over to my screen over here. And let's start it. Okay. Now this first part, I had to download it from a different website because it's blocked on YouTube. For an obvious reason, you're going to find out in like a few seconds. And I'm probably going to skip to the next part because there's no reason to show it off. It's going to be just pure silence. So I'll say what I need to say about what's going to show up, then move on. Xbox 360, a good system that could have been great had it not had such colossal console failures. My 360 is still a brick. I have not been able to play my 360 in over like 9 years. Like once I got a PS3, I never went back to 360. Which sucks because they actually did have some good games in there. But yeah, Beatles Rock Band was the game they started off with this conference. And this part in particular is blocked on YouTube worldwide. So obviously, I can't play any music that's playing here. I'd love to play Hard Day's Night because, it's a great song. But I ain't trying to lose my channel. I'm trying to save my ass if I can. So unfortunately, you're not getting to hear this great song. But what I will say, at least, about Beatles Rock Band, it's one of the best Rock Band games out there. Still to this day. Now, I love Rock Band 2. I put days and years into that game. But nothing is top Beatles Rock Band. It's still my favorite one. Just, there's not a bad track in this game. They picked a perfect track list. The DLC was excellent. It's sad the DLC's gone now. But, it's still a good game. Like, I still would say, like, if you have those old instruments still lying around, go play Beatles Rock Band. Yep, here comes the sun. Like, hey. But, I'm going to stop right here because, there's no point playing this. It's just silence right now. It's just me talking. So I'm going to skip to the next part just because, nothing happened, really. They came on stage and played stuff.
Thanks, man.
Hi, Giles Martin.
Thank you very much.
Those new remixes were pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That White Album one was pretty nice. But no, I remember this E3 conference pretty vividly because I was in school in the beginning part of this conference, and I was like looking at the clock, just like, man, I gotta get out of here because E3 is happening. And the second the bell rang, I sprinted home and went right in, and it was right when they were showing off like Beatles stuff. So I was like, ooh, like that's dope. Because like I said, I was still pretty big into Rock Band at this time. This is like right in the peak era. But I was like, okay, I didn't miss too much, but it was cool. Liverpool, 1963. Okay, so let's go some more trailer stuff, but I'll just mute this. But yeah, like I was saying, I walked in right there. So right when it said like this is right when I walked in. And I was like, oh shoot, Beatles Rock Band. Like, all right, I was down with this. I was like, this is a day one buy. And you know what? It was. So I don't know what music I put over this, but there's something here. All these classic songs just quiet on YouTube. See, when I was first getting all this stuff ready for this to watch this, I was like, man, why is this part blocked? Then I looked through this part, it's like, oh, I understand why it's blocked on YouTube. Although I might try and attempt to see how far I could get posting it with the music. But I don't know. It feels like maybe 3 seconds of the song might be good, but they're playing like a good like 15 seconds. There's a lot of songs they keep switching through. It really sucks with this game because the DLC was great. Like, they had the entire Abbey Road album. They had all of Rubber Soul. They had all of, I think, Revolver. I know it was the rest of the Sgt. Pepper's too. But now all that DLC's gone. They got delisted years ago because it's the license. They didn't re-up it. So if you're out there and you have Beatles Rock Band with all the DLC, like, hey, keep that hard drive safe because you ain't gonna be able to get them anytime. Like, I don't think they even let you re-download it. Like, I know with Guitar Hero 3, they didn't let me re-download the DLC I bought because when I eventually got back on my 360 years ago, I wanted to re-download the Guitar Hero 3 DLC, and they wouldn't even let me look it up, which I'm still pissed off. Like, I spent a lot of money on that game. And Microsoft's just like, no, you don't get to re-download it.
In addition to the
So
songs
it's
on
pretty
disc,
garbage.
The game will also feature downloadable songs, including full albums, the first of which will be Abbey Road in its entirety, available shortly after launch.
And don't worry, we're going to get rid of it in a year's time after the game, and you won't be able to re-download it ever again.
Will be available for download exclusively through Xbox Live, and all Apple Core, MTV Games, Harmonix, and Microsoft proceeds from this song will be donated to Doctors Without Borders.
Can I still re-download it? No? Okay.
Alex. So it's my privilege now to acknowledge a bunch of folks involved in making the game. First, I'd like to acknowledge a great soul, a wonderful musician, an early fan of Harmonix, and a champion of a Beatles Rock Band notion to the rest of Apple Core. Please acknowledge Danny Harrison.
Can't go wrong. Good artist is on right too.
He'd rattle his jewelry if he had any, but I don't think he does. Danny, thank you.
Some people say it's like, oh no, he's just living in his father's shadow. It's like, hey, Danny Harrison has some pretty good music.
Next,
Like,
I'd like to thank
I was listening to some of his solo stuff. I was like, you know,
who were
pretty
with
good.
us every step of the way in making this game. They were really incredible, and thank you very much to Apple Core.
I still feel like when it came to this Rock Band of having like solo games of like we're gonna focus on just one artist, it really topped off here. I know next was Green Day, which I thought that game was okay, but like man, how do you go from Beatles to Green Day? Like it's such a downgrade. Oh yeah, and they brought Yoko Ono. They brought everybody out. But the thing that I was always disappointed with is like, man, they could have gone so much further with it. Like they could have used like the one I always thought to this day that was like a missed opportunity. Where was Pink Floyd Rock Band? Oh, I'm still regretting that. Like that would have been the dopest one in terms of visuals, the guitar solos, especially once they added that keyboard support. That would have been sick. But it never happened. Here they go. I wonder how expensive this was to get them out here. Like that, it's like that's an expensive cameo right here.
Good morning, everybody.
It's like from having The Rock come on stage with an Xbox to two of the Beatles.
All right.
Looks like they want us to talk amongst ourselves, Paul.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think of the game?
That's pretty crazy. Ringo still looks the same. Like
Okay, thank you.
Ringo ages well. Like I was seeing like a photo of Ringo from like a few months ago. I was like,
Oh, the game is
still
good.
holds up pretty well.
The graphics are very good. And we were great.
Yeah.
Now, we love the game. It's fantastic. Who would ever thought we'd end up as androids? But
I like the way I walk.
See, I don't mind this.
Yeah,
See,
so thank
it's
you
like,
very
you know, if
much
you're
for
going to
having
have
us
like
here and,
celebrities
having us on your
come
game
on
show.
stage and talk about a game,
We love it.
yeah, I'm not going to have a problem with the Beatles
Anyway,
talking about
God
their
bless,
game.
Peace and love. Thank you.
It's like,
Enjoy the game.
it's not like Vin Diesel at the Game Awards talking about his game. I don't have to repeat how he was acting. Even though it was like 30 seconds, it's like, hey, I'm fine with that. That was good. It wasn't awkward like some years where they have some celebrities come out and it's like, yeah, I play video games. Call of Duty, you know what I'm saying? It's like nah, that was a cool little segment. You had Danny Harrison, had Yoko, had Ringo, had Paul. So it's like right now, you know what? Pretty good start to this show. Beatles Rock Band, at least for me, I was like, there, they got me.
Without Borders is doing. And we couldn't be more excited about the
But now we got some games to see.
All You Need Is Love coming to Xbox 360.
Well, yeah, I think it was exclusive to Xbox too. So if you had like a Wii or PS3, you were screwed. Which that was kind of whack there.
It's
like, don't be locking DLC to consoles.
Watching our live broadcast. Over the past year, our industry has done well in this uncertain economic climate. Perhaps this is because now, more than ever before, people want to have fun. They want to play games, enjoy their favorite TV shows, movies, and
Damn, for a
music.
second, I was like, they could
And they
repeat
wanna
this
connect with
entire
each other,
beginning speech
all from the comfort
this year,
of the
and it'd
living
still be
room.
relevant.
Now, last year, the new Xbox experience accelerated the transformation of our console into a true all-in-one entertainment device. Today, we're going to deliver even more. And today, it's all about showing, not telling. So you're not going to see charts and graphs about sales figures or attach rates.
One guy in the back. Yeah! Fuck charts. Fuck graphs.
You are going to see 10 world premieres of games that have never before been seen.
I haven't seen a 360 controller in a good
I
minute.
thought you'd like that. You're also
Hey,
going to
I'll
see
still say that's a
exciting
good
innovations
controller.
in entertainment
Like,
and entirely
that
new
controller
ways to
feels really
connect with
good.
your friends. And if that's not enough, we're going to make a little history by showing you revolutionary new experiences for everyone.
Oh, I know what they're
So,
talking
enough
about.
of the telling, let's get on with the
Oh, I
showing.
can't wait to the end because their new experience they're talking about. Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh no! It already begins. Tony Hawk Ride. This game is trash. And I love Tony Hawk. Like, but man,
What's up,
this
everybody?
game's
It's
not
great to be here
good.
today. I'm so excited to get the chance to introduce you to our new game, Tony Hawk Ride, and to unveil the final board design of the revolutionary skateboard
Oh my,
controller to you. Here
this
it is,
game
right here.
feels so
As you
bad.
can see, it looks similar to a skateboard.
Like, thankfully, at least,
it's a little bit shorter, but
like,
this
we had
thing is
Proving
full
Ground, like, not that
technology.
long.
It's got accelerometers.
Well, actually, no,
it's got infrared sensors here. It knows where your feet are. It knows where your hands are. You can
Yeah,
come in and actually go for grabs.
I think
you can
Proving
lean
Ground
it,
was
you can-
already
you
out
can
at this
kick it up.
point.
You can actually put your foot on the side
It's like,
of it.
I'll
as if
always
you're
take
pushing
that.
along.
Even though it's not my favorite Tony
The whole
Hawk
thing
game,
responds like a
I'll
real
take that
skateboard.
over Ride.
And, I
This
really have
did
wanted to
not
do a
feel
video
good at
game
all.
with a skateboard controller for a long, long time, but it just felt like the
Because it's like, all right, to
technology
do
wasn't
it,
there
this
yet.
move, you got to
I'm
do
really
this
excited
and
that
that.
Robomoto
And it's just,
figured out how to incorporate the latest
not
technology
good.
and make a real skate game. Because
and also, did you hear what he
the
said,
best way to experience
Robomoto?
skateboarding is
That's,
as
I
it's
think
meant
that's
to
the
be
same
on a
team
board.
that did Pro Skater
The
5.
design's really intuitive. It
See
allows
how well
anyone
they
to
did a
grind
Tony
rails,
Hawk game.
volley, catch
See what they
videos off
did to
ramps.
it.
Even if you've never set foot on a skateboard,
I gotta look it
we got
up,
plenty of
actually.
difficulty levels. And I think this is going to deliver an entirely new type of social, physical gaming on Xbox 360, and it will allow players of all skill levels to battle for skate supremacy in time and trick-based challenges from the comfort of their living rooms. So check out this world-exclusive trailer. I think it captures the essence of what Tony Hawk Ride is all
Yep,
about. It
this
features,
was their
pro
first
skaters
game they
Ryan
did in the
Sheckler,
Tony Hawk
Paul
series.
Rodriguez,
Because next
Stevie
was
Williams,
Tony Hawk
Christian
Shred.
Asori, and
Then it was
Lindsay
Pro
Adams,
Skater
all
HD,
checking
which
out
also
Ride for the
wasn't
very
that great.
first time.
And then Pro
I really
Skater
feel
5,
like
which
anyone
killed the
can
series.
experience this. So, check it out when it
And
ships
I remember
later
even
this
at the
year.
time, I was just really disappointed because, like, I did like Proving Ground, like, back then. But I was just like, man, this just looks like such a gimmick. Like, I just want to play a good arcade Pro Skater game again. That's all I wanted. I didn't want anything crazy. Like, this was the point where, well, even before this, I was like Team Skate all the way. And I still love Skate. Like, I'm gonna be there the second they show off Skate 4 and when it comes out. Because at this point, I was like, man, Tony Hawk, like, just gameplay-wise, they didn't know what they wanted to do. Whereas Skate had such this, like, new idea with it and take on the skating genre that it worked so much better. I was like, this is the game you give your grandchild doesn't know any better. Like, I would not be like, hey, you're a fan of the Tony Hawk series? Here, play this. It's just, it's so whack. And you know, you can find this board a lot. You go to a Goodwill, oh, you see 100 of these things.
Skateboard maneuvers, flip the skateboard, push like you're skateboarding. You can grab the skateboard, turn the skateboard.
Maybe I should, like, find a copy of this one of these days. I should, like, actually play it some more.
You can get on it and just do the sort of turning motions, and the game will sort of guide you into the obstacles. And then we go to...
This is the era of motion controls. Hey! Rodney Mullen is a legend. That dude is one of my all-time favorite skaters. Rodney Mullen is a beast. And I don't like how they only gave him, like, 5 seconds in this video. It's like, man, let Rodney Mullen say more. But yeah, Tony Hawk Ride, it didn't work out in the end. Honestly, I've yet to see anybody who was like, yeah, Ride was good. Like, I've heard, like, decent,
All right, well, I hope you'll
but
take
not
the
like,
opportunity to
oh,
ride
that was
as
a
well.
good game.
Activision has these up and running at on Xbox 360s on the show floor at E3, and I hope everyone gets the chance to ride. Thanks, everybody. Have fun. See you there.
Oh, back when I still wanted to go to E3. Do I still want to? I don't know. It's just like, do I really want to spend $200 to be waiting in line to play a game? Uh-oh. I know what game this is.
It takes over everything.
Man. This is the game changer here. COD 4 to me was like, alright, this is the best Call of Duty. Then this game came out, and this game changed the world of shooters. Just like this game, like, broke, not even say like broke new ground, like, because it didn't do anything like really crazy with shooters, but in terms of just how big this game was. Like, this game was massive. And I'll still say it, I've played every single Call of Duty game for the most part. There's a few after, like, Black Ops I didn't play, because I was kind of getting sick, but from before this, I'd played every single Call of Duty. So I'm talking number 1, 2, and all the spin-offs with number 2 and 3. This is still, and I'll still say to this day, this is the best Call of Duty game in terms of campaign, side mode, and multiplayer, hands down. I played this multiplayer for almost a good 2 to 3 years, non-stop. The multiplayer was extremely addicting. The story mode was great. The Spec Ops mode was really good. And it's why I was so disappointed when we got the remaster and it was just a campaign. Which, don't get me wrong, I love the campaign. It's really good, but the multiplayer was so good in this game that I just felt like I don't really want to buy half a game. Like I'm saying, people who knew me, I put years into this game. Not as much as some people I knew, but I put a lot of time. Like I said, fantastic game. It's really good. And it's the 2. They went on, do their own thing, Respawn. Went on to make another great shooter.
We have a lot we want to share with you, but since our time is limited and we know you just want to see the game, we're going to get straight to the action. So here is Modern Warfare 2.
Don't even get me started on Titanfall. Like, woo! Mostly Titanfall 2. Oh, and I forgot they showed this as the demo. It's actually a good mission.
Let's go.
Like a roach. Man, I almost want to play this again. Like I wonder if I can still find a Steam copy. Like if I could find the original version and just play on some like servers, I'd do that. Rather than buy the remastered and have no multiplayer. But no, kind of getting back to that thing, it's like saying like it changed the game. Because obviously it's not like this is like, oh, there weren't shooters before Modern Warfare 2. But I'm just saying in terms of like how many shooters started popping off after this game. Even though Call of Duty 4 was huge too. That was like the biggest one for a time. But this game, I feel like after this game came out, so many games tried to be like this, and you just saw so many shooters on the market after the fact. It's kind of like what happened with Gears of War. It's like Gears of War came out, and there were so many cover-based shooters for eons that like so many companies tried to do cover-based. And I feel like after this game, you saw a big resurgence in first-person shooters again. Some that worked, some that didn't. Kind of like what happened with God of War. Like you saw the God of War type clones. But at least with God of War, I'd say like the clones did a pretty good job. Like Dante's Inferno was a really good COD clone. You know, I will say honestly, this still looks good. Like it still has a nice look to it. Like obviously the remaster looks better. It has like better detail, better lighting and all that. But like it's not a bad looking game. And at least gameplay wise it's still fun. Oh, the heart rate monitor. That was the one new addition to this game I really loved, but the thing that sucked about it was that I could never really use it online. Not that it was hard to use, it's that when I would use it online, I'd get roasted huge for using it. I remember there's this one match, and this, I wish we had the captured like software we have nowadays, like on systems where you can just easily record a moment. Because I had this moment in this game where, in like it was like a team deathmatch. I took out the whole team. It was just like me by myself. I took out the whole team. And everybody who was in like the party with me, they're like, hey, that's what's up. Like, hey, John's tearing him up. And then I died and they saw my weapon. It's like, "Do you have a heart rate monitor on?" And they started laughing like, "Boy, you can't be talking. You had a heart rate monitor on. That doesn't count." So after that, I never really tried to use the heart rate monitor. I was like, nah, I ain't trying to get roasted every single time for this. So I know it's a dumb thing, but I'm like, nah, I ain't trying to get roasted. So I didn't use it too much. If I did use it, I'd be like, all right, let me switch my loadout now. But, oh, I just miss this era of COD so much. It's just, I miss the broken weapons. Like, I miss the, oh, the SCAR was really broken in this. Oh, the dual shotguns, the models. Although the dual wielding models were extremely broken, like the range on it was ridiculous. You could be from where Roach is at right here. You could be using the dual models, and you'd be hitting people with like perfect accuracy and range. Like it had the range of a machine gun and a rifle. Like it was perfect. Like I just loved that there's so much broken with it, but like stuff wasn't ever really like patched. Like I feel like very rarely under like the sun they'd patch a weapon to like fix it. So things stayed pretty consistent for a long time. Compared to now, where I feel like every other week it's like, all right, well, this weapon was strong, so we gotta patch it out, we gotta make it worse, we gotta do this and that. Like you have to just get good with a weapon and figure out how to like avoid it. Like there are just certain matches. It's like, all right, if we're on this map, this is my loadout for this map alone because I know there's gonna be people with this weapon. And I want to have a way to get past them. Just like they had, what was the name of it? It was this one perk where it was like you could do a melee move, but it like honed in on people if you were a certain distance away. And it was really far. You could be really far away, and you'd be like zoom in on them. It's like it was really broken. I love how in this entire conversation, all I've been saying is, yeah, you know, this game's great. Oh yeah, it was really broken in a lot of ways. Things weren't working right. Listen, even with all the overpowered weapons, like it was still a blast playing this. Like I said, this campaign is still dope. Like the last campaign that really, well, none have really felt like this at all, really. Like the only ones that have gotten close was in Advanced Warfare at a time. Now the playing the story mode of that one is it's a little awkward playing that story mode now. It's kind of soured. But the Modern Warfare remake, honestly, I really liked that story mode. It was actually really good. It was one of the better Call of Duties I had played in a good minute. Yeah, and it's also just cool to kind of see this era, because this is back when like a Call of Duty game would take up a good amount of an E3 show. Like we saw this for a good few years after this. Like when they showed off Black Ops and showed off Modern Warfare 3, they would give like a good demo of it. Nowadays, you won't really ever see that because, like, you know, we know what to expect with Call of Duty.
Xbox Live will once again lead the way. I'm pleased to announce today that Infinity Ward and Activision will release 2 Modern Warfare 2 map packs first on Xbox Live.
Yeah. I remember this sucked because I was on PS3, so it's like, oh, I don't get these for a good bit. But look at how things changed, because then Sony came out and got that Microsoft. Wait. Ooh, okay, Final Fantasy, all right. I forgot about this, that Final Fantasy actually made its way onto an Xbox show, which you very rarely are going to see these days. And also, look, we got Katase here. We got the legend.
Thank you. I'm Yoshinori Kitase, and this is director Motomu Toriyama.
Boy, I have a lot of things to say about 13 in a sec.
It has been over 20 years since the first Final Fantasy was released in 1987.
Oh, ooh, that hurt. More because, like, now at this point, Final Fantasy from 20 years ago is like, shit, I think Final Fantasy X. It's like, oh man, I'm getting old.
And has sold over 85 million units.
昨年の E3 で我々はナンバリングタイトルでファイナルファンタジー13を Xbox 360で発売することを発表し、世界中を驚かせました。
Last year at E3, we shocked the world by announcing that Final Fantasy XIII would be coming to Xbox 360. The first time a major new Final Fantasy installment has come to any Xbox platform.
It's like when they were like, all right, we're going to put Kingdom Hearts 3 on an Xbox platform for the first time. Are we getting the older games? No, just Kingdom Hearts 3 for right now. We're going to give you no context. They did finally get smart and actually give people the 1.5, 2.5 collections, but it's like, you did it like a year after the game had even been out. I'm sure there was somebody out there who was like, who played Kingdom Hearts 3 without playing any of the other ones. But yeah, Final Fantasy 13. I was extremely hyped going into this game just because even till this point, I was still a diehard Final Fantasy fan. And I still am to this day. I will play every Final Fantasy game regardless. And this is one of those Final Fantasy games. It's definitely it's the biggest probably hit or miss of the series. Like it's such a divided game. Like even more compared to like 10. I feel like now 10 is finally getting the respect it deserves. Same for 8, but like 13 is still in this half and half zone. I do feel like at some point it is going to have that shift where more people are going to probably be like, you know what? It was a good game. It was fine. And that's what I'll say, because there was a point where I was like, oh yeah, this game stinks and it sucks. But it was mostly just for the structure of it. But I think like there's a lot of good things with this game. Because the combat, the actual like turn-based gameplay is fantastic. The combat system is really good. The music is excellent. Graphically, it looks really, really good. It's just mostly in the story where it kind of lost me a bit, because like the story can get definitely really confusing, and there's so many systems in play with like the story and characters and like the world, and a lot of it is also kind of tied back into the it's all in text, so you really gotta do a lot of reading if you really want to fully understand the stuff between like Lacies and Falsies and all of that. I'm still honestly surprised that we have not seen this game remastered yet. Like, I'm surprised Square hasn't been like, hey, here's the Lightning trilogy. Like, we've gotten every single Final Fantasy like remastered for the most part, except this one. And the 10-year anniversary already passed, so I don't know what Square's doing in that regard. I'd honestly like to see that, because I've been wanting to replay it for years, but I'm waiting for that moment when they do eventually do it. Because I think now with having this much time passed, it's been like 10 years since I played it. I think with this much time passed, I might have a different feeling on it. But yeah, it's not a bad game. There's some things I add faults with it, but it's definitely not the worst of the series. But believe me, it's not the worst. I don't even know what I could say is the worst in there. Like, maybe weakest, but I'm not going to even get into that. That's like a whole other video.
This generation, the biggest blockbusters of every genre have made their home on Xbox 360. But what truly sets our platform apart is the diversity and the quality of our lineup of exclusive experiences. So from this point on, everything you'll see, every single game, demo, and experience will be available only on Xbox 360.
Oh, okay. Let's see about this. Let's see what games they got to show.
So to kick
It's
off
2009.
What? And to show you their latest title, please welcome to the stage from Epic Games, Donald Mustard and Cliff Bleszinski.
You know what's funny? I was just thinking about like Gears. I was like, I think I'm going to talk about Gears. I think this will be Gears 3 at this time.
It's great to be here at the newly resurrected E3.
Donald Mustard before he got that Fortnite money.
Next Epic Xbox 360 exclusive. It's the first Epic Xbox Live Arcade title, and it's being developed by our friends at Share Entertainment under the creative leadership of Donald Mustard.
Donald?
No, it's not. It's not Gears 3.
Our goal was to take the best of 3D game design.
Oh yeah, Shadow Complex. I forgot about that game.
Castlevania, and then rip them into the next generation.
Man, someone fix Donald's mic.
Graphics, all powered by Unreal Engine 3. Now Shadow Complex, I gotta play, so you're not gonna hear me anymore.
Shadow Complex.
It's all about
there you go.
Exploration, punctuated by moments of combat.
There's always one. There's always technical issues at a Microsoft show. What? I can't hear you. The game's too loud.
This is crucial to the kind of game you have here. You find weapons and items that unlock different areas of this massive underground complex. It's important to note that environment is key. Donald could just shoot these guys if he wanted to, or he could use a more interesting approach, such as using the wires to zap them from above.
Honestly, I never played this game.
And Donald's going to actually flash forward to later in the game.
I never got around to playing this game, obviously just because my 360 was dead at this point.
He has the foam gun right here, which he's using to create
I do remember hearing good things about it. I remember people did seem to like this game.
You can also acquire different tools such as a hook shot or a triple jump, which allow you to have more mobility and go to different sections of the arena.
Did this get like a remaster? Or? I gotta look this up.
And a lot of secrets. There's over 120 hidden items to be found in the game world, and the campaign is over 10 hours long with a lot of replayability. Oh, and by the way, some pretty cool boss battles as well.
Okay, so my camera, the video on my camera died, so I don't know for the rest of this. It might just be me. You might just be seeing me for this.
Unfortunately, gotta love it. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have to show you today. Look for Shadow Complex on Xbox Live Arcade this summer. We'll be demoing it all week at the Microsoft booth, along with Gears of War 2 Dark Corners content. Thanks, guys, and enjoy the show.
Thanks, Donald and Cliff. And I did say it was about showing, not telling, didn't I? This next title is something totally different, and it pioneers a whole new way to play on Xbox Live. The game is called Joyride, and it comes to you from our colleagues at Big Park, the newest member of Microsoft Game Studios.
Xbox Live presents all the avatars. Remember them? Actually, no, they're still on the system. I don't know. I'm like, they're not there anymore. It's like, nah, they're still there. Catch huge air.
And drive your avatar wild.
Okay, I got my camera back on. I had to delete some things on this iPad, which I'm recording. But we should be good to go. We should have video for the rest of it.
It's a new social experience to the energy of a kart racer. And it will be free to download and free to play. So
and yeah, there was a Shadow Complex remaster.
You can personalize your experience by buying cars, upgrades, and more. And you can share any racetrack you purchase.
I guess it was on. I guess it did make its way to places.
Whether they've purchased it or not. Joyride is coming this winter to Xbox Live.
Yeah, Joyride. That's what I like to see.
Xbox 360 offers more ways to play than ever before. From innovative new games on Xbox Live to the newest chapters of your favorite franchises.
What chapter for my latest franchise? What game are we talking about? Psychonauts 2. It wouldn't be out of out of the ordinary.
The city.
That game's still in development. I don't know when Psychonauts 2 is coming out. That game was revealed like back in like 2014.
You are the cure.
Was this is this Crackdown 2? Yeah, I think it is Crackdown 2.
Just remember, neither do you.
Maybe it's not Crackdown 2. I don't know. It could be. Yeah, okay, what's Crackdown 2? I never played this game, so I'm not too familiar with it. I will say though, Crackdown 1 is an amazing game. That is a really good game. I know people were like, "Oh, I just got it for the Halo 3 beta," but I'm like, I got it because it looked like a good game. And also, this is another really good game too. But I'm like, man, are we ever gonna get part 3? But knowing Valve, it's not likely, unfortunately. I guess it's just really sad. It's like, man, it takes you guys a long time to do another game. It's like they finally made a game last year. But it's like it took like a virtual reality headset coming for it to actually happen. It's like, what's it gonna take for like Portal 3 or for Left 4 Dead 3? But like the team that worked on that game, like they're onto their new thing. Like I think it's Bound for Blood. They showed it off, I think last year. Like that looks good. Like that's coming, I think, to PS5 and I think Series X and that. But like as in terms of a spiritual successor, it looks like it's pretty good. Because we probably ain't gonna get we ain't probably gonna get Left 4 Dead 3 ever. Valve's like, now we're making too much Steam money now. It's like got a little too much of that green now these days.
He's looking for answers, for the truth.
Dad?
There is no walking away from us.
Is this that Splinter Cell? I forgot the name of this one. It was like Splinter Cell and it had like a title to it. Oh, they're playing this song. This song's so corny. I've heard it in like so many movies. I used it in terrible videos in the past.
He's gone.
This is the Matrix.
I can't stop him. No one can.
This is bigger than your daughter. This is bigger than both of us. The people behind this. You can't hide from them.
Who said anything about hiding? What happens next is up to you.
Splinter Cell Conviction. Okay, that was the name of it. Another game I never got a chance to play. I heard it was good. But it sucks though. It's like, man, where's another Splinter Cell game at? Like, I know obviously I can't talk because like I never got around to playing it. But it's just like I loved the older ones. And I believe this one was also a 360 exclusive, so it's like I never got around to playing it. I'm like, Ubisoft, come on, you can't just keep Splinter Cell just dead. Give us something. You have these properties and you're just not doing anything with them. Anytime they ever try and use Sam Fisher to any degree, it's always in a mobile game. It's like, what are they doing?
Sam has changed, and this time
All right, I can obviously tell definitely. This probably has to be running on like a PC, or maybe it's not. But like, I don't know. This just it looks a little too clean to be 360. Like just like the lighting, the little like shadows from the people outside, like it looks like one of those fake E3 demos. But like I said, I don't. It's tough to say.
In the city, the old mansion on King George Street, guards out front and on the sides.
One of our objectives and conviction is to keep you immersed in our world and make our narrative move at a fast pace. So our story unfolds in real time, projected in the environment, just like what you saw in the bathroom scene. And we do the same for your objectives.
Out his whole crew, then gave him a swirly. I don't know. You can believe it or not, but he's on his way here. Grandpa's? Fisher.
Driven by his emotions, Sam is now the ultimate predator. His actions are fast, brutal, and when needed, lethal. And nothing shows this better than one of Sam's new abilities, the Mark and Execute.
He's got this, what's his max pain now? He's got a little bullet time.
Like a small sandbox, allowing Sam to choose where and how to infiltrate, giving him the best possible tactical advantage over his enemies.
It's like, can we please get more stealth games like this? Like Hitman, like the trilogy was great, but obviously IO is moving on from that now. So there's not anything really else that's on the market there. Like obviously Metal Gear's dead, so that's gone. Hitman's pretty much ending right now. It's like this is the time to do a Splinter Cell game. It's like none of this like, oh well, we might not sell. It's like, listen, people who want these like stealth games, they're hungry. They want to eat something. I thought that was pretty dope right there. That's still pretty cool. Just like with like survival horror, like thankfully at least Resident Evil's still kind of back. I haven't played 8 yet, so I can't speak on it. But like, man, like Silent Hill would be pretty great right now. But we all know how Konami is these days, so that ain't happening. Yeah, I do remember liking this demo. I was like, this is pretty impressive. But I just never got around to playing. Because if I do recall, I do believe it was exclusive. I know they said again like all these are only on 360, but I just want to check because you know sometimes things change. Yeah, it was on Windows and it was on 360. Damn, it got on the Windows phone. The Ouya. Shit, they put this game on everything but PS. No wonder I didn't play it. I should have just played the Ouya version. Maybe that would have been good. But you know, I'm not making that same mistake this time because I do plan to get a Series X, especially if that Microsoft might finally start having exclusives again. I don't want to be missing out on great games because I didn't have the console. And you know, I'm technically kind of wrong because, you know, I did have a 360. It just doesn't work. It's honestly still sitting underneath my computer, my game shelf up there. It's like right in the bottom, collecting dust. I'm like, I could probably plug it in. It'd probably hit like a red ring immediately. Like mine's weird. It's like it's got a red ring, but it doesn't. You can turn the system on, but you only have like a minute to play a game, and it'll shut off.
Everything you can expect from Splinter Cell Conviction, and we have a lot to share with you.
Which is pretty much dead.
The game will be released this fall exclusively on Xbox 360. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Max and
You know, when I get my Series X, I'm gonna have to go back and start playing some of these games. Play some of these games I missed out on.
For sports games. One by one, Xbox has
Man, why is this guy's giving me Rich Evans vibes from Red Letter Media. I don't know why. It's something with like the haircut. Just
Our team at Turn 10 Studios is back
this dude's more head than hair. It's like, why does hairline have to go so far back?
I'm proud to announce that in October we're shipping the definitive racing game for this generation, Forza Motorsport 3.
I wouldn't go that. Now, Burnout Paradise, maybe you have me, because that was an excellent racing game that still is excellent. Forza games, you know, I've only played a little bit of them. Like they seem fine. Oh, they're gonna bring a car out? Because, you know, it wouldn't be a Microsoft show without bringing a car out on stage, because that's what they do. They do it every year. Just when you think they're not gonna do it, because they do it all the time, they surprise me. And look what they did. They brought a car on stage. I always felt these felt like remnants of older E3. Like, that's something you do back in the 90s, where it'd be like, oh snap, they brought a car on stage. That's sick. I gotta play this game. But because they do it like 100 times, just like, all right, get on with it. Like, it's not as cool anymore. Now, if they did something like, all right, Microsoft Flight Simulator, we brought a plane on stage. You brought an airplane we brought an airplane out. That's something different. That's wild.
Now, as you can already see, Forza
Car,
Motorsport
not so
3
much.
Beautiful. But as the definitive racing game of this generation, we deliver more. Much more.
Not a bad looking game. You know, honestly, the thing that makes like the racing games that give them like that realistic look, honestly, it's the camera angles. That I forgot. I think it's Gran Turismo 2 on PS1. There's like this one angle they have, like it's like when you're just watching like it was in.
With an all-new graphics engine running at 60
Yeah,
frames per second.
But like something about like the camera angles in some of the older Gran Turismos, like it looks really good. It still holds up. Those games still hold up though too.
Is the biggest racing game of this generation.
I mean, like I like Gran Turismo a lot, but I've always been more of an arcadey racer fan. It's like I'll always take like a Burnout over like that, or like a Need for Speed, where like Need for Speed's kind of that in between. But
Forza's new features allow our community to connect, share, and create a larger experience for everyone.
Thinking, you know what I mean? They can customize a car in the comfort of the living room, right there on Xbox.
I paint in Forza. It gives me total creative freedom. It is an easy way to express yourself. And
yeah, I made this my Sonic Shoe car graphic, because you know I just wanted to represent Sonic when I'm out there skidding on the track. You know, I gotta do my thing. I gotta represent my boy Sonic. I had to put my waifu on the car. You know, I just had to do it for Haruhi.
I'm a professional skateboarder.
Hey, Bucky Laslick.
Driver is definitely something that I have in my future. Basically, I'm gonna make a rock star car. Well, it's just
Come on, Bucky. You could do better than that. It's like, all right, you know, I love my passion. I want to do this. Rockstar car. It's like, yeah, ads. That's what I really want to see in these. Like, you could put anything you want on the car, and you put Rockstar Energy. It's like, all right, let me put Doritos on my car. Let me just put ads. It's like, no.
Kids today are blessed. They actually have the technology to make almost like a neighborhood. They can actually go on Xbox Live and share different ideas with different kids all over the world.
I'd love to see his speech and then like overlay what the designs actually were, because I'm sure 90% of them were all terrible, awful things people put on the cars.
The ability to create and upload high-def video, Forza 3 makes it easy to discover the latest content from these artists, tuners, and directors. Their passion makes your game better. Here's an example of what they can create using the video editor in Forza Motorsport 3.
So I wonder if like if it was like as good as this, like when it came to like the actual video replay system on it. I'd have to actually look that up later on and see.
Rated racing game of this generation. We're raising the bar once again. Forza 3 brings you what no other racing game can. The best graphics and physics, the largest roster of the hottest cars, the most thrilling action and approachable gameplay, the biggest creative online community. It's the definitive racing game, and it ships this October. Come by the booth for the ride of the show. Thanks.
The only Forza thing that I was like kind of like, man, I really would have wanted to try that was when they had the I think it was like the Hot Wheels DLC. I think it was for Forza Motorsport 4 or 5. I can't remember, but I remember I was like looking at some footage that was like actually looked pretty cool. But yeah, and I said Holo. Yeah, you know that 360 shooter everyone loves, Holo. Halo ODST. This is another one of those that I obviously never played. I'm hoping soon. I do want to pick up the Master Chief Collection and actually give this a try. Because I will say, Halo 3 was an excellent game. It still is up there as my favorite Halo game. I put in several hours in Halo 3 multiplayer and just playing co-op like campaign a lot. It was a really good game. So I don't know, even at this, it was like it's a tough thing to follow, even as like a spin-off game. Like it did look good. I did hear it was a pretty nice game, but I just never got around to checking it out.
Weeks before the start of Halo 3.
And also, RIP original version of Bungie. I still will say, you know, I will only speak just on the Bungie games I have played, because I didn't play Halo 4, I haven't played Halo 5, I haven't played the 343 Halo games, but from what I've personally seen, I still feel Bungie made the best Halo games. Just I don't know, even just of the campaign and story, I just preferred Bungie's take on it, and just their just design logic and everything else. Like they were a really good team when it came to Halo stuff. And even with Destiny, like, you know, I played a little bit of Destiny. I wasn't the biggest fan of Destiny, to be honest, and it's okay. It's just not my kind of game. But I just feel like, man, when it came to Halo, they really had something there, especially the music. Like Marty O'Donnell's soundtrack to Halo is a classic. It's really good. And when it came to like the later Halo games, I feel like when I would hear little bits of the music, it was never on the same level. That does look pretty good though. Like I really am probably gonna pick this up soon.
So let me kick the visor back on. See what we can see.
You know, we have that Halo Infinite coming out either this year, next year. I think it's this year. I don't think they're gonna delay it, but I'm hoping the game's good. I'd like to hope that after all this time that this Halo game's not bad. Like I never want to hope a game is bad. Like I'd like to hope Infinite is actually good and brings the Halo series back to kind of more of well, not even roots, because they're definitely changing it up, but more back to like how was playing those older ones, where it was consistent in like every single way, like where the multiplayer was raw, the campaign was raw. So I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. I did hear some rumors about like the development, that there's a lot of crunch right now and just a lot of executive decisions for certain things, which usually when executives start putting in game design suggestions is not a good idea. Usually executives do not know what they're talking about 100% of the time. So, you know, fingers crossed it's good. Wow, it's Killzone 2. Like, I don't know about that little bridge scene. It reminded me of that Killzone 2 tech demo where it's like, look at Killzone 2 gameplay, and like none of it was actual footage from Killzone 2. It was all pre-rendered, which got a lot of people back then. Me included. I was one of those people who were like, wow, Killzone 2 looks incredible, and not realizing, oh, it's fake. Man, I should have watched that. Should have watched the Sony E3 from that year, where it's all fake footage. I don't think there's like a single PS3 game actually running at that show. Yeah, I feel like of recent time, I've been hearing a lot more people like give praise to ODST. At the time, it was kind of like 50-50 on it. But I feel like now, like, a lot of people have been like, yeah, that was a good game.
Including ODST's brand new cooperative game mode, Firefight.
And I heard that was cool too.
ODST will start dropping into stores worldwide September 22nd. But you know, that's not all. Another team at Bungie has been hard at work on a top secret project. And today, I'd like to show you what they've been up to.
All right, what is this? From the beginning, you know the end.
Gamma Station, this is Fermi and RSO. Unconfirmed report of an in-system split space rupture.
Impossible. Check your source.
Reading multiple pings
Is this
below the orbital defense grid.
Is this Halo Wars? Is Halo Wars 1 or Halo Wars 2?
Winter contingency has been declared. All units are mobilized and ready.
This is Sierra 330. Prep for combat insertion. What the hell was that?
We're coming in hot. Hold on. We just lost our burn.
Oh my god, what the hell is happening down there? Just dropped off my man.
It has to be that, I think.
I need you in that fight, Noble One. Noble One, come in. Noble One, do you read me?
Halo Reach. Oh, okay.
This is Sierra 259. You got Spartans on the ground, sir. We're not going
Falls 2010. Now that was Halo Reach was the last 360 game I ever played, and was the final Halo game I've played. I will say Halo Reach was pretty good. Multiplayer I really enjoyed. I think the multiplayer was a bit better than the campaign, but it was good.
ODST, you'll get an invitation to the Reach Xbox Live multiplayer beta. Well, that's it for me, everybody.
Well, I certainly don't miss that thing of, all right, you buy this game and you get access to the demo of this thing. Like, I still don't understand that Crackdown one where it's like, you buy Crackdown, you get access to a demo of Halo 3. It's like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, they're not even in the same studio and everything. But yeah, Halo Reach was the last 360 game I played before my system truly died, and I liked it. Hey, look, it's Max Payne.
A best-selling writer.
Uh-oh. I know what game this is.
For a long time. I'm confident that we can all agree that it has been well worth the wait. The following is all in-game. Our producer, Jay Ranke, will be playing Hit It, Jay.
And I still need to play Control. I'm just waiting.
My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer.
Alan Wake.
I came to the small town of Bright Falls on vacation with my wife Alice.
Remedy is a good studio. They are really good. I never played that game they released on Xbox One, the one that was like the full motion one. But that one seemed fine too. I think it was like the one where it's like time slowed and this thing, but when I've seen Control looks pretty sick, so
I need to find Alice.
Alan, wake up.
So there's a lot of things that
Alan,
they're pretty consistent.
We're here. This would make a wonderful setting for a book.
We're supposed to be on vacation, Alice.
Alice! My wife is missing. They took her. I found many pages. We can't talk here. Rusty knows something. He wants to talk.
Re-release this again. Please. Put it on everything. And I thought that was the dopest thing. Just like the little previously on and tonight on. Like it was so cool. It seems like Remedy's kind of kept up with that cool like kind of style. Like it seemed like the few bits I've seen of Control, it seemed like it kind of doesn't. It kind of has this cool like flair to it. But the one cool thing, at least, is that when I do finally play Control, I'm going in completely blind. So I won't really know what to expect with it. Like I've even tried to stay away from gameplay too.
It was taking over everything in its path.
Follow Rusty. Now I will say, I think we're at the halfway part of this conference. You know, so far I will say Microsoft has a pretty good showing. There's a good amount of decent games. Like Alan Wake is a really good standout title. You know, Beatles Rock Band. They showed off Modern Warfare 2, and that's on other systems. But they had Splinter Cell. They had Left 4 Dead 2, which was the console exclusive. So it's like, you know what? Honestly, for 2009, they actually had a pretty good year. Now, obviously, the stuff at the end of the conference is going to kind of ruin it. Because they're doing so well right now. But I will say, like, if you had a 360 at this time, you were pretty set for like from now until the end. It wasn't until like, man, probably. Well, obviously we watched E3 2010 a few years ago, and that conference was horrible. That is still one of, including with 2013, probably some of the worst Microsoft conferences. So obviously this year after they didn't learn because it was not good. But even after that, I feel like they really kind of stopped with even like the exclusive games, and like they weren't really showing much output. And it was like that for a good minute, even like leading into like 2014-15. Like their exclusive output had really slowed down. It's why at least I'm hoping to see more with Microsoft and like their exclusive parties, because they have so many studios they've been buying up. So it's like, actually use these studios, actually bring exclusive games to the system more. Like the Bethesda acquisition is pretty huge. Like that one, the fact that at a certain point, like an Elder Scrolls game is going to be exclusive to an Xbox system, or like a Fallout. Like it's going to be pretty wild to see. But that was their biggest issue at this time, was just the exclusivity. Like Sony, it took them a few good years before they actually started getting some like heavy hitters on their system. Then when they finally started, it was just like every year was just like bang, bang, bang. We got this, we got that. And they were pretty consistent all the way to the end. So I don't know, maybe Microsoft's gonna have that time where like they're gonna start really being consistent. But you know, they're doing better, I will say. Like just looking at Series X, like terrible naming convention aside, they seem to be on a better track record than they were in 2013. Looks like they're actually making smart decisions, unlike when they had dummy Don Matrick there, just destroying Microsoft at the time. To be continued. That's a cool demo.
Thank you. I'm very happy to tell you that Alan Wake will see the light of day in spring 2010. Thank you.
I think it actually did come out spring 2010. So you spot on there.
You've seen an incredible lineup of exclusive games for Xbox 360. Now you're about to see the next wave of innovation on Xbox Live.
Xbox Live.
Is already home
Oh
to the
boy.
best game experiences. A video library of over 18,000 movies and TV shows, and the largest social network in the living room. And today, I'm proud to announce that music is coming to Xbox Live, starting with an exclusive partnership with online personal radio phenomenon Last FM.
Huh? I've never used Last FM. I always thought they were kind of whack.
With over 30 million active listeners in more than
It's like I used it a few times. I was just like sometimes they like you pick an artist and they pick the worst songs. It's like I'm trying to like have a library where I can work out to, and you keep picking like the worst songs.
To millions of songs playing through the best speakers in your home. And best of all, Last FM will be available to Xbox Live Gold members around the world later this year at no additional charge.
How things change. Now it's like Spotify is that new hotness.
By the end of the year, Xbox
Well, Spotify sucks for a lot of other reasons, but it's not the time to get into that now.
Entertainment experiences than any other device in the world. Netflix has been a huge hit for our US
Social things on
and now we're gonna make
Xbox.
the best way to watch Netflix even better on Xbox Live. You will be able to browse through categories and add movies to your queue straight from your Xbox without having to go to your PC.
Oh, remember that old version of Netflix?
But wait, there's more. If you want to watch something right that instant, all you have to do is hit play. And we've heard from many of you around the world that want something similar. That's why we formed a partnership with Sky TV to bring instant watch movies and TV shows to the United Kingdom and Ireland starting this fall. This partner...
Not a lot of Irish people in the audience.
This partnership also delivers a big first for home entertainment. For the first time ever, you can watch live TV from Sky directly on a game console, including test.
You mean I can watch Liverpool directly on my Xbox? Yes, but I want to watch Ice Road Truckers.
Live television delivered through a gaming console with no additional hardware needed.
This is when they started their TV stuff. It was an early moment into their TV things.
It was the first time a gaming console delivered TV shows and movies for download.
Well, I will say the sickest thing that Microsoft ever had was their Netflix app back in the day. The thing where you could like watch Netflix with your friend and it would sync up, like that was really cool. And then they got rid of it.
We've heard you say, I can get a better picture
Like
on a disc.
I'm still waiting to just see them bring it back to some degree.
To download. And it's not available in my country. Well, today we answer these challenges with a new standard in home entertainment. We are relaunching our video service as Zune Video this fall.
Zune.
And this brings us 3 big innovations. First,
Zune.
we're upgrading our HD video library to the highest
Boy, Zune really lasted.
full 1080p.
Zune lasted like 3 more years and it died out.
Second,
Ain't no one messing with
all of our
Zune
movies
anymore.
and TV shows can be enjoyed instantly. No discs, no downloads, no delays.
Great. All right, but then when Zune goes out, you lose all those purchases.
Doubling the number of countries our
That I sure love that.
From 8
There actually are some purchases I lost because of this stupid thing. I had like Human Giant Season 2 on my Xbox, and I can't re-download it.
The experience has never been faster, and the audience has never.
And it sucks too, because like that show is like there's no physical release, and I can't find it anywhere too.
On 1080p HD will
It's
be
like,
the
oh.
best way to experience movies and TV shows in high definition.
Nah, I don't like this guy's like, it's better than a disc. It's like, no, a disc will always look better.
Make your favorite entertainment not only a great living room experience, but one that connects to your friends as well. Today we are announcing that you'll be able to enjoy movies, TV, and music with your friends on Xbox Live at the same time, even when you're not in the same.
Yep, this is what I was talking about. See, this was dope. This was cool.
Party, every gaming and entertainment experience can be a shared experience.
But then they got rid of it for some reason.
What about the program on your dad's computer to
Now, obviously, these days there's websites you can do this from, but I just liked the convenience of being it on the system. It was really cool.
Netflix, Sky, and
Ooh,
Instant
voice
On
crack.
1080p HD mark the start of a whole new era in home entertainment. Now, for our next announcement, we asked ourselves the question: how can we give you more ways to connect with your friends, right from the big
More
screen
ways
in
to
your living room?
connect with your friends.
You've used it on your computer, you've used it on your mobile phone, but
They
you've
were
never seen
hiding
it
it from the
like this on your
beginning.
television. Today, I'm excited to announce a partnership with Facebook.
Eesh, eesh. Nah.
Now, to show you Facebook,
That guy was really hype in the back for
I'm gonna turn it
Facebook.
over to someone who has been friended many, many more times than I have. She's the producer, writer, and star of The Guild, Felicia Day.
All right, what does Felicia Day have to do with Facebook? I was gonna be like, our Facebook app.
Thanks, John.
Mark
It's
Zuckerman.
a real, nerve-wracking treat for me to be here. And thanks to all of you for downloading The Guild on Xbox Live over the past year. Yeah, we're really, really excited to bring you season
8
3
people in the
coming
audience.
this fall. I've been a gamer for years, and social networking recently has kind of taken over my life. So that's why I'm excited to be able to give you the first peek at Facebook on Xbox 360.
Did anybody ever even use this?
right away,
Was anyone
this is
like,
a
you know
Facebook
what? Let me check
experience
my
that is custom
Facebook
made
on
for
my
your living room.
Xbox.
The things that I like most are right up front, and they're really easy to find. So
It's like, this is the one thing
let's
I
start
wouldn't
with
want
where
connected.
I always start on my Facebook page with my friends. Here I'll be able to see all my Facebook friends, but what I really want to show is the friend linker. This is where you can see your Xbox Live friends and your Facebook friends together.
It's like, Grandma,
From
you
here,
have an
can link
Xbox
your
Live
Xbox
account?
profile and even invite them to be your friend on Xbox. It's pretty cool.
It's like, I really am
So
trying to have like
next,
people I
how
know
about
add
photos?
me on my Xbox.
Now you'll be able to.
I don't want them to know I play games.
Now you'll be able to look at your and your friends' photos straight from your Xbox. That's me. That's my dog Cubby. He's a rescue. You didn't need to know that. And it's some.
This is when the the conference was doing pretty well. Then it got to this part. They stopped showing games and they're like, let's just show off let's show off like social stuff.
Even when you should be talking to the
This is for like grandmothers who are like, ooh, I'll get an Xbox to check Facebook. It's easier than getting on a computer to do it.
I'm a bit of a multitasker, so
But also, who'd want to type on this with like the 360 controller like that?
It's really exciting and super convenient.
It's like, just get on a computer and just
But now let me show you something.
just get
totally
on and just be
new.
like,
It's called Facebook Connect.
boom.
And it's going to change the way you experience games. If you're like me, you've always wished that there was an easy way to capture your greatest or your most noobish moments in gaming and share them instantly.
And
with
just
your
give it a
friends.
few years.
You'll be able to post screenshots and even text straight to your profile in real time. You'll be able to play with Facebook Connect, starting with a future version of Tiger Woods' PGA Tour for Xbox 360.
Hey, John. Huh?
But, oh no, I'm not
I'm
done.
right there.
Thank you. But just like you don't play only one game or watch only one movie, you're also probably plugged into more than one social network, or 25, like me. That's why, in addition to Facebook, Xbox Live is also bringing
MySpace.
you Twitter.
Oh boy. The addiction begins.
Again, Xbox has done a lot of work to give you a Twitter experience that is designed for
Oh,
the living
to
room.
see Twitter on
I love being
Xbox.
able to follow my friends and send my own tweets
Wait, what
no
i-
matter where I am.
What is that? Is that the
Actually, I've been known to
timeline?
walk into lampposts and fall off of treadmills because of it, but
This is how you know it's old. You see how Twitter people are like, doing cardio, eating breakfast, went for a walk with my dog. That ain't Twitter these days. Twitter is the Wild Wild West.
And everybody I'm following on
Twitter is more like, you thought Persona 5 was decent? Alright, I just sent you a docs. I sent this to your manager. You're losing your job.
connected to friends and family are coming to the living
You did
room
not
on
approve of my Ryuji X Joker fanfic? Alright, it's time for you to die.
because they'll both be coming
That's
to
Twitter
Xbox Live this
nowadays.
fall.
And in
Thank
memes.
you very much. It was a pleasure to be here, and I hope you all have a great E3.
Yeah, I just like, who is that for? Like, listen, if you're watching this, Let me know if you actually used the Facebook and Twitter integration. Like, was it actually good? Because I really didn't even go for it. I was like, nah. Like, what's the point? I didn't have a Facebook or Twitter at this point. I didn't get a Facebook till 2013. And I didn't get a Twitter till 2014. So I was completely out of the game at this point.
To your friends with Live Party, Facebook, and Twitter. And we've seen it all in one box, Xbox 360.
That's corny. We've seen it on one box, the Xbox. Oh no! It's this guy, the guy who ruined Xbox for years. Their reputation was so bad because of Don Matrick. And this dude went on to like Zynga and ruined them too.
All those blockbuster games are amazing. We're offering things that no other console
can match. Don Matrick always had the look like he farted in the elevator and left. Like he's so satisfied, like, I just passed gas, but I'm not in there. They gotta suffer. You see, look! Uh-oh. I forgot about this. Speaking of somebody who would pass gas in the elevator and stay there, it's Hideo Kojima, the legend.
To introduce the creator of Metal Gear Solid.
What? How do you mess up Metal Gear Solid's title? It's the easiest title on earth to say. Metal Gear Solid. He's like, this is Metal Gear Solid. It's like, what? Dude, Don, can you even say games?
To Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo!
I can confirm that the next major release will be called Metal Gear Solid Rising, and that development
incredible
is
game
underway to the Xbox 360.
That's a great game.
Kojima-san, we're honored to welcome the Metal Gear franchise onto Xbox 360. We can't wait to see what
we can't wait to not ever get Metal Gear Solid 4 or Metal Gear Solid 1. Okay, did they have to really pause that long? I didn't say anything about Solid Snake. It's like you did my man Kojima dirty there. It's like, don't do Kojima like that. He's been through enough. But yeah, Metal Gear Rising is a sick game. This game is dope. Lightning bolt action.
Rising.
The soundtrack is undefeated in that game. The boss fights are undefeated.
Is back.
I still would love a remaster of that. Or man, a sequel. I thought for a certain point there was going to be a sequel. But nothing ever came of it.
But I can promise you that it is a completely new Metal Gear experience, and you can look forward to many great things. Wow.
It would have been great, because you know what? This probably would have been it. It would have been like Peace Walker, and that would have been it with Metal Gear. But then Konami's like, no, keep making them. Then he starts making them. All right, we're going to cut your budget. All right, stop making Metal Gear. Then they fired him. All right, we're going to keep making Metal Gear. That man was done so dirty. But you know, I'm happy he has his own studio now. Kojima Productions is doing great. Death Stranding was amazing. So I'm excited for what's next with them.
Microsoft sparked a video game revolution. It started with our first
I wonder if that rumor that he's going to Xbox is going to be true. That would be nuts if Kojima Productions gets bought out by Microsoft and the next game's a Series X exclusive. Like, that'd be nuts.
And a social entertainment network, all in one box.
Xbox. Oh, he didn't say the corny line. Even Don knew better. He's like, shit, I ain't saying that.
To create new experiences that will drive the next wave of growth and creativity for Xbox and our industry.
It was a long conference. I didn't realize it was this long. I thought it was like only like an hour.
I tell them, of course we can. Indeed, controllers will continue to evolve, as we've seen with guitars, wands,
here we go.
And nunchucks.
You know what's coming.
But here's the problem. For far too many people, the controller is a barrier separating video game players from everyone else.
Hear that, folks? The controller's the barrier. I'd love to play games, but this controller is just...
Can we go beyond the controller?
Oh, wait.
Can we deliver games and entertainment?
I shouldn't have done that.
Everyone
Okay, well, the controller is a barrier that usually should not be thrown at a wall. It's supposed to be thrown on the bed.
The controller.
But you know, it's not hard. It's not hard to do. Believe me. If somebody in their 80s can learn how to play a game, the controller is not hard. And there it is. The Microsoft Kinect. No controller required. This is when I knew like things were going downhill with this conference, because this is even back then I thought this was whack.
Yep, let's do it. This should be good. Let's begin.
You are the controller. I think my thing was like, one, it's dumb, but secondly, I've played this before. iToy came out in like 2003, 04. iToy was doing this. And it's like, yeah, you know, this is gonna feel really good playing a racing game like this. Like, yeah, it's gonna really feel intuitive. Yeah. Yeah, I love this fake trailer, because like the Kinect never worked this well. Hey, Sony did that game. That came out in PSVR, but you're using your head to like move it. Except there was cool because it was VR and actually was immersive. This is just dumb.
I have to tell you something, David. You can't recreate a finale like we've seen in this championship.
Full body motion capture.
She sets it up.
It's all gimmicks. It's like use your this, I love this. Like, what is this? Use your own gear. This never happened. And what game is this? It's like Skate 4? Like, this is more of a gimmick than Tony Hawk Ride. Like, how is that possible? At least Ride, as dumb as it was, at least you had a skateboard, so at least it made some kind of sense. It's like, how you gonna be trying to do kick flips without the board there? Like, how's it gonna differentiate? Facial recognition.
Hey, so did you get a
Didn't work that well.
No.
There was that thing that they said, you know, Kinect can't see black people. You know, it's pretty spot on, because there was a time where it didn't connect with me. It's like, god dang it! Like, you didn't test. There wasn't a single black person in Microsoft in the testing for this. Like, nobody. This should have been an easy thing to like notice.
For 500 points, what is the answer? Ian Dixon.
Millard Fillmore.
Millard Fillmore is correct. Now a 200-point follow-up question for the Beckett family. How many push-ups can Chuck Norris do?
I love how they cut away. It's probably because it didn't work. It was like, how many push-ups can Chuck Norris do?
Play movie.
Work! Work! The only experience you need is life experience.
Good night.
They put that in, like, that sucked. It's like, you know how often you can say goodnight? You be playing a game, someone walks in, and I'm going to bed. Alright, good night. And it's like, system shuts off.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're excited to share with you Project Natal.
Oh yeah, Project Natal before it got Kinect.
Revolutionary new way to play, where the only experience you need is life experience.
That is such a corny tagline. The only experience you need is life experience. Dude, it's a webcam.
Tracks 3D movements and recognizes voices. This is controller-free games.
Honestly, there was only one good game with Kinect, and it was Michael Jackson Experience, because it's the only one that logistically made sense. That and like Dance Central. But the other ones,
will work with every
no.
Xbox 360 we've sold, and every Xbox 360 will sell in the future.
Is that like a big thing? It's like, yeah, because it's like a little USB port. It's not that hard.
Without having to launch a new console. Over the last few months, we've been sharing Natal with our creative partners, and the response has been everything we hoped for.
What is this shit? That's the first
to the stage. He and I have a long history discussing the future of interactive entertainment. While we've been evolving the industry with better graphics, blockbuster games,
man, Don Matrix sucks. I still can't get over this dude when the Xbox One came out and they were saying, well, this always online thing isn't good because, you know, what if you're in the military and you can't get an internet connection? He's like, well, there's a console for those who can't do that. It's called an Xbox 360. I'm like, man, Don Matrix was terrible. Like, oh, I was so excited when he was gone. He ruined Microsoft. And also, why they got Steven Spielberg out here?
It's my honor to be here.
It's like, love Steven Spielberg. He's one of my favorite directors. But it's like, what does he have to do with Natal?
Asking a crucial question, which is how can interactive entertainment become as approachable as all other forms of entertainment? Everybody loves books and music, and everybody loves movies, but the vast majority of people are just too intimidated to pick up a game controller.
Yeah, that's right. If you haven't grown
Dude, the Wii came out years before this.
That's true.
Everybody could play Wii. I love how they're trying to say, oh, the controller is just so hard. They don't have anything on the market for these controllers. It's like, dude, the Wii was just this, and it's in so many senior homes. People were like, easy to understand.
Technology invisible. And only then can we shine the spotlight where it belongs, which is on you and the fun you can have with a technology that recognizes not only your thumbs and your wrist, but your entire being. So 2 months ago, Don
VR.
shared with me the Natal experience, and the gamer in me went out of my mind when I got to really be interactive with this.
Yeah, to imagine Steven Spielberg in a room just like...
I felt like I was present for an historic moment, a moment as significant
yeah, to imagine this
from the
this video
movie screen to CinemaScope and then to IMAX. So as a creator,
Steven, no you didn't. You really didn't just compare CinemaScope and IMAX to the Kinect. Yes, Kinect was as big of a leap in technology into the world as those mediums. Ain't no one checking for Kinect these days.
It's about no wheel at all.
That's like saying the invention of sound on tape is just as important as
Thanks very much, Stephen. It's great to have you here.
Karaoke Revolution on the PlayStation 2.
Your teams create in the future.
We'll come up with some good stuff.
I'm certain of that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks, everybody.
They never came up with good stuff. It never happened. Now Stagey's like, all right, where's my check at? All right, cool.
A revolutionary way to play, a new era of interactive entertainment.
And man, you know, everyone through this whole conferences had those little earpiece mics. It worked fine with everybody else, but when Don Matrix has it on, it just like, he makes it, oh, it doesn't work with him.
To show you more, please welcome the creative director of Project Natal, Kudo Sonoda.
Uh-oh.
Right, thanks, Don.
It's Mr. Grease.
Thank you. So Don challenged us to
Where's this guy at? I haven't seen him at a Microsoft thing in eons.
Well, we wanted to build experiences that no matter what your age or gaming ability, you could instantly
We're about to see an iconic E3 moment in a few minutes.
They never dreamed possible. Experiences where you have total control over your in-game character just by moving your body or using your voice. You have control over your avatar in the most natural way imaginable. So we got some early prototypes that we want to show you that really illustrate our vision. So the first demo I'm going to show you is a demo of the dashboard. With Natal, even navigating the menus becomes a magical experience.
No, it doesn't. It becomes a pain. I remember going to a friend's house and trying to use this, and it took like 100 years. It signs me in automatically. Like, yeah, it's working great.
Next, check out our full body motion capture. So, as you can see, when I start making movements in my avatar,
Yo, it's getting down.
it instantly mimics me on screen. You ever wonder what the bottom
Uh-oh.
of an avatar shoe looks like? Well, bam!
Bam!
There it is. All right, so let's get in and navigate the dashboard.
I don't know, why is it... Okay, it paused on the video side, so it must be something there. But yeah, like, man, even for a tech demo, I was like, ooh, it was not ready to be seen. They should have showed it behind closed doors, because it's looking pretty rough there. Now, obviously, it wasn't as bad that when it came to launch, but, you know, it's pretty close to that, though. Like, even at launch, it wasn't, like... It wasn't great. Like I said, like, I love how you're saying, like, oh, going through the menus is really intuitive. It's a brand new, like, experience, but, like, it's really hard. Like, trying to go to another menu screen is tough.
So Ricochet is currently single player, but our technology
Oh, okay, so something went wrong with that last part. There's some weird corruption. Oh, well. So we missed something there, but I'm fine.
The purely creative and collaborative types of experiences you can build with Project
But yeah, they went all in on this Natal, and it's just... It sucks because, like, the beginning of this conference is actually good. Like, I'll say, the first half, it was good. Then when they started that Facebook and, like, Twitter stuff, it went down.
Thanks, Kudo.
So even back then, I didn't care for this. I was just like, man, this is boring.
Elephant on the plains of Kenya. So I'm feeling inspired. Let's splat. So you see,
Please don't say that.
That's where we're going to paint our background.
Let's splat, guys. It's like,
blue.
buddy, don't say that.
I'm going to slop around some paint with my bucket throw here. That's my sky. And then I think I'll put a great big cloud up in the
It's like,
sky.
this ain't Splatoon.
So throw another bucket up there. There's my cloud. Now I'm gonna
It's like
go
the developers
some
are like,
one-handed
huh,
gestures
stupid
and,
tech demo with
paint
Microsoft
some
show.
mountains in the background.
Now that'd be a good idea with some squids and paint.
Okay. All right. There's my mountains. Now let's put some
Looks
earth down.
terrible.
Dark brown.
Dark doo-doo brown.
Oh, there
That's
we go.
doo-doo brown. That's not dark brown.
So painting my ground. Then I'm gonna want some brown.
Oh.
And I'm gonna just lay down a little extra texture on there.
Oh, now we're
Then
getting
we
some
get
brown.
Some light brown.
Yo, you're using the worst browns
A little more
ever.
texture and color in there. And then I think I want a tree line in the background. Could I get some green? All right, there's my tree line. So I think that's a pretty awesome background, but I'm not quite satisfied yet. I want to put a...
I noticed they're not showing the close-up on it anymore. They're not showing the direct capture. They're only showing it from far away.
And make my trunk. Sweet. All right, now I'm going to put some palm leaves on it. Green. So, there we go. A little finer strokes
There
with
we
my
go.
hand. Put some palm leaves
You
on
know,
there.
okay, now that I've seen more of it, it's not terrible. It actually, okay, you know what?
But there we go.
You actually did get it. Actually,
So
it's not
I'm
too
stoked on the
bad.
Background, and now I want to make the elephant. And so I'm going to say pose. That brings in my stencil paper, and you can see I can use my whole body, make any kind of crazy pose I want. And if you have any friends or family in the living room, you can invite them on in, and they can help you make some art as well. And since I'm making a four-legged animal, I need some help. So, Abby, would you like to come back up and help me make my elephant? Okay, so here we go.
Oh, no.
All right, so there's our elephant.
I'm not going to say anything. It's like human centipede right there.
Right? Check it out. Have a little grass. Tastes good. Okay, so now we're going to take our stencil.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to be quiet.
Cheese. All right, so there's our elephant. Thanks, Abby. Okay, so now we're going to paint them in. Elephants are gray. Throw a couple more buckets up there. Now I'm going to sandwich my stencil with my background when I say reveal. And there's our gorgeous masterpiece.
Thanks. All right, great job, Darren and Abby. Let's hear him for him one more time.
I want to go as this guy for Halloween one year. It's an easy costume. Just get some like really crazy shades. Get like a little tracksuit. Find like the grease wig.
Being able to move freely around in 3D space. Using your voice naturally is a part of the experience, and all without a controller. Project Natal will work with all Xbox 360s, and development kits are arriving at our partners today. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Don.
Great job, Kudo.
Dirty Don.
We're excited to see all the different ways artists can use Natal to build experiences never thought of before. Now let's take a look at what happens when you put Natal in the hands of a master. Please welcome the creator of Fable 2 and president of our Lionhead Studios,
Oh, no.
Peter Molyneux.
You see, when I made a Project Natal game where you are the game. When you leave the screen, the game will keep playing in the background.
You know, I want to just say one
You
thing
actually
to you,
will
and
get
that's the
money
word
for playing
interactive.
the game.
Surely we've been making
When your
interactive
character
games
goes
for
to
20
work
years,
in the
haven't we? 20
game,
years.
he makes money as you go to
I don't think we have.
I love Peter Molyneux, but boy, he always oversells his game. Every single time.
More and more buttons actually has been the biggest barrier.
Remember he was like that with Fable. He was like, oh, in this game, you're going to plant a tree. And then the tree's going to grow as you play through the game and age. And there's going to be all these things, and then you get the game, it's not there.
What designers
But I will say Fable 1 is a masterpiece. I love that game.
the landscape of games that we play.
But also, I just love the setup for this, because like, this tech demo is obviously super fake coming up.
And a week ago, a film crew came out and filmed this video. Why don't we take a look at it now?
Science fiction writers, filmmakers.
Project Milo.
We're able to do today. We've been experimenting with something here. I'd like you to meet a boy called Milo.
I love this tech demo because it's like, this thing was never going to come
He
out.
can recognize our faces, he can recognize our voices, he can recognize emotions in us. And this is Claire. She's going to introduce you to Milo.
Hi, I'm Milo. How you doing?
Hi, Claire. You okay?
Actually, I'm a bit nervous.
You? Nervous? I don't believe it.
This is the first time that thousands of people are going to see this.
Thousands of people?
Here we're seeing Claire being recognized. And the emotion in Claire's voice.
Yeah, I love how fake this is, because it's like, yeah, this AI can perfectly articulate the name and all this, like,
thinking today you should
no.
let me beat you at football again. That is if you finished your homework. You have finished your school project.
What happened there is that Claire knew Milo so well, she knew when he was worried about
Claire knew the script so well, she could predict what he was going to do. Almost like it was planned out before we had the film crew here.
Then yours will be brilliant.
Milo is so good, you don't even need the system on.
Try to catch some fish. Draw some pictures in my journal. Maybe I'll do okay this time.
I think that's a good idea.
Lift off! Don't know till I try, do I?
Exactly.
See? I've got everything we need.
Well, great. Let's get started then.
You've got to put these goggles on.
Goggles?
Put them on like this.
I still remember there are articles like, did you see that Milo thing? Microsoft has incredible technology at last conference of the day. And it's like,
every single person
was it really? No.
reaches down because they feel so connected to Milo's world.
Cool. So what are we doing? Do I have to stand at the edge?
Go on. Put your hands in. It's not too cold. I bet the fish think we're a monster.
Cheeky.
Swish the water about a bit. See if you can touch your fish.
There Claire is, in Milo's world.
There Claire is, acting along to the video, because sometimes the movements don't sync up perfectly, and they're delayed by a few seconds.
Being able to swish the water with her hand. Everyone who's experienced it the hairs are standing up on the
Come on, Peter. You didn't have to fake this. You could have just been like, we're working on something
Well,
crazy.
you're good at drawing.
They're only fish.
Because Kinect never did anything like that. Shit, we don't have a game to this day that can do anything like this.
I'm gonna do a body and a tail.
Even with VR, we
a
ain't
big
there.
fin, and a smiley face. There we go. What do you think?
Look at what just happened.
Orange.
Claire drew a picture on a piece of paper. The piece of paper was held up to Milo. Natal recognized the piece of paper, scanned the piece of paper in. Milo looked at that piece of paper, recognized the shape, recognized the color, and able to get on with his project. This is true technology. The science
No, it
fiction is
isn't.
not even written about.
Yeah, Natal
And this works
scanned that in a
today.
millisecond and knew it was an orange. Yeah, it really turned out like that.
What we've chosen to do with that technology.
Peter Molyneux's a
has been
fraud.
dream for 20 years. We have chosen to create an experience where you can meet what I believe is a real character that understands.
The
you,
real
that
character is on
understands
the
your
stage right now
emotions,
talking about
that's
this thing.
fascinated about your life. Now you may look at that video and wonder whether it's true or real, but here's the fact: we're showing this behind closed doors at E3 to a selected audience, and that's.
I love that. If you think this is fake or real, we're gonna show this, but behind closed doors to only a select few, probably only executives and no one else.
Thank you, everyone.
So if you were confident, you'd be like, "Hey, this is on the stage, the show floor. We're letting Milo loose." But he's like, "No, we're gonna show him. We're gonna show he's real by only showing him to like 8 people, and then never showing him ever again."
Well, we hope
Because
you
nothing
agree that it's
ever
been an
came of that
incredible
Milo
morning.
thing.
We promise to bring you the best games, exclusive entertainment experiences, and new ways to share all of this with your friends. And we promise to make some history. I think you'll agree that this is a watershed year, not only for Xbox 360, but for everyone who loves games and entertainment.
And that background is really distracting. It's like, it's a they shouldn't have gone with this background, like all the dots and that behind them. It's just it's distracting.
Xbox 360 is home to all hit genres and every hit franchise. Before, you had to buy a disc player to get the best quality video. Now you can enjoy instant on 1080p HD, no disc, no download, no delay.
Well, you're still gonna need a disc because you're still streaming it. It's still not gonna look as great.
Xbox Live. Now on Xbox Live, games, movies, and music can be shared with your friends no matter where they are. Before, there was a barrier separating video game players from everyone else. Now, with Natal, everyone can join in using the best controller ever invented, you. The future of games and
I love how it
is
was
happening
silent.
now,
No one gave him a
only
clap
on
for
Xbox
that.
360.
Oh.
Thank you, and have a wonderful
Oh,
E3.
that was corny. We have the best controller on the market. You. And it was crickets. Oh. All right. Well, that was long. I didn't realize it was like almost 2 hours long. I was really expecting it to be like an hour or so. Oh. Well, the one good thing is that was the longest one. Whew. Well, that conference, man, it started off so well. I think it started off really good with the Beatles stuff and then going into like the third parties and then the exclusives. Like they actually had a good amount of games shown that, like, you know what, even looking at it to this day, I'm like, you know what, that looks pretty good. Like, you know, the Splinter Cell game, I'd want to try that at some point. And, you know, some of the other stuff. So in terms of that, you know, for that year, at least for 360, there were actually some pretty good games coming out. But man, when it hit that shift of going more for the social stuff, of talking about, like, you know, Facebook and Netflix and Zune Music, it just had a weird shift. Then it had the Hideo Kojima cameo, which is like, why'd they like put the Facebook stuff, then Hideo Kojima, then back to just the social stuff? It was just weirdly paced. And then obviously they have the Project Natal stuff, the Kinect stuff at the end, which, no, just not good. And obviously even back then, it's like, even in like the early stages, it didn't really work well. And even when you get into the final release, it still has issues. Like, it's crazy how much, like, Microsoft put so much stake into Kinect. Like, they were like, this is going to change everything. They put so much money into it, and it was just a colossal failure. Like I said, there's only, like, really 1 to 2 Kinect games that actually utilized the Kinect where it made sense and was good. Like, for me, at least, it's just Michael Jackson Experience. It's like, being able to do, like, the little moves to it, it's like, that works fine. But, like, no one's playing a shooter or a fighting game or a sports game or a racing game with Kinect. It's just like, it's not fun. Like, no one wants to play a racing game like this. Like, no, people want to play things tangible. They want to feel things. Like, if I play a racing game, I want the giant wheel. I want to be able to, like, hold the wheel and have the feedback there and the pedals and that. Like, that's immersive. That's cool. Or, like, if I'm playing a shooter, I want to play the controller. I want to have just that feel there. And you look at VR now. Like, now with VR, like, that level of immersion is, like, on a greater level. Because now, like a racing game, you could have the VR headset on, so you're fully immersed in that. Then you pair that with the steering wheel and all that. It's like, at that point, it's like, it's 1-to-1. Like, it's gonna feel really good and get you at least immersed into that world and that experience. And obviously, VR stuff wasn't there at this point. We still had quite a few years. It wasn't until, like, 2012, 2013 when, like, Oculus stuff was starting to really start popping off a little bit. But yeah, the Kinect was and still is a big failure for Microsoft's side. Like, I don't know who they were marketing for, because even with, like, seniors, like, there wasn't any game that's, like, I'd see anybody old want to play on there. Like, at least with Wii, like, you had Wii Sports, and it's like how do you play? Oh, you have the Wii remote and you swing, boom, boom, boom. Like, it's easy. Like, you can play Wii Sports sitting there. I could be in a chair and be like, bah, bah, bah. Kinect, you got to stand up. You got to be active, and you just can't do a lot of games with that. And it's why I was so offended when people were like, man, VR is exactly like Kinect. It's a gimmick. It's like, no, it's not. You can play full games in VR, and the experience is so different compared to if you were just playing it on the screen. Like, Resident Evil 7 in VR compared to the regular version in 2D is an entirely different game. It's not even in the same level. It's entirely different. But yeah, at this point, Kinect's gone. Like, we had the Series X, they took the port out. You can't even play Kinect games on it. So for those who really wanted to play Kinect, you got to have either a 360 or you need to have an Xbox One original if you really want to play those. But yeah, looking back on this conference, it's okay. It definitely, the last part sucks. Like, the last part's not good there. It just drags and it's just boring, especially with the fake Peter Molyneux Milo stuff. Because that really was the last time we saw the game. Like, he maybe talked about it a bit more, like, a few months after, but that experience and thing never saw the light of day after that and just died out. One, because it was all fake. Like, that, like, come on, that was not real, like, real time and all that. The Kinect could barely see me on screen, so there's no way the Kinect's smart enough to be like, all right, it's a paper and it's a drawing and it scans the drawing in. Like, no, that's not happening. But yeah, for starting off this E309, it's not the worst conference they've done. Obviously, the one the year after is way worse. But, it's just decent. There's some good stuff. So, I think I'm going to call it right there for this first part of the pre-3 extravaganza. Next up, we have Sony on the docket with E309, their conference. Now, that one, like I said, this one I kind of had a bit of an idea. I knew the Beatles stuff in the beginning. I knew the Project Natal stuff. So, like, the stuff in the middle, I was kind of like, oh, I forgot they talked about that. But Sony, I really have no idea what they're going to talk about. So that one is going to be a real blind watch again. So it's going to be a fun one to see. And same for Nintendo too. So we'll get there when we get there. So that's going to be it for me here in this first part. Thank you for watching along. As always, I'm John, GWC, and I will see you later. Peace.